What I said about Tyler Van Dyke, Miami's starting quarterback, possibly joining Alabama, that was before I found out that we currently have 2 Uber Eats drivers battling it out to see who's going to start next year. Whew. Oh man, I don't know another way to put this. I don't know another way to say this. This isn't good. And when I say this isn't good, I'm not just talking about the Alabama quarterback situation. I'm talking about the Alabama football team in general. This is the first time since Saban has arrived at Alabama in 15 years I've been concerned about this team. Whoa. Hold on. I know what you're sitting there saying. Yo, Matt, what are you talking about? Alabama, they're still up there. They're still the elite of elite. What are you freaking out about? And let me explain. We don't even have a liable option for a good quarterback at this current moment in time. But hold on. It doesn't just stop there. To go on top of that, we don't even have an established running back. That's a part of this that I feel like a lot of people have forgotten. Maybe if we had a Mark Ingram, Derrick Henry, or Najee Harris coming back, I'd feel a little bit okay. But we don't even have that. And I know everybody's going to say, well, Matt, we got the 5 stars coming in, Justice Haynes. We got Jace McClellan coming back. And to be honest, the only thing I remember about Jace McClellan is he had a 75-yard touchdown run against Texas, and he disappeared after that. And to put the cherry on top of things, we don't even have good wide receivers anymore. I don't know what happened. We used to be wide receiver university. We had 4 first-round picks. Now, we don't got any great ones. I have this inside joke with one of my friends. We say this about Alabama football, but it's how I definitely feel about the wide receivers. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe not. But the main reason I've gathered all of you here today is to talk about the Alabama quarterback situation. I'm not going to talk about the entire team. That's a different video for a different day. And I also know what you're saying. Well, Matt, didn't we just talk about this yesterday? And yes, we did. But today we have a new update, and I want to address this because I saw your guys' comments in yesterday's video. I saw the comments, trust me, because about a week ago, I think it was either a week or 2 ago, we talked about the rumors going on about Tyler Van Dyke, Miami starting quarterback. He was going to go to Alabama. And what did I say? I laughed at it. I said, psh, Tyler Van Dyke going to Alabama? That makes 0 sense. He wouldn't even start. I was like, man, would Nick Saban and Alabama even want this guy? And then here we are yesterday. I'm talking about how Alabama's going to go after Notre Dame's backup quarterback, who is actually worse than Tyler Van Dyke. So what was everybody saying in the comments? And I get it. Matt, a week ago, you were laughing at the thought of Tyler Van Dyke going to Alabama, saying he wasn't good enough. But then you're going to say this backup quarterback at Notre Dame's good enough? What's going on? That's a fair point. We're going to talk all about it tonight. And I'm going to explain to you why my thought process has changed. It's changed completely. Why is that? Because the Alabama quarterback battle has changed completely. Keeping it in the quarterback room, we're also going to talk about what CJ Stroud has said about his poor test results. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, you should. We've spoken about this 5 or 6 times. He took a test, the S2 condition test for the NFL. It's like a draft process type of test, and he scored in the 18th percentile. It was bad to say the least, and he addressed it. And what he said, I found it funny. And we're also going to speak a little bit about, guess who? Caleb Williams. It's safe to say, just like every video the past couple of weeks, there's a ton of crap going on in the college football world. I love it. It's going to be a jam-packed video. As always, if you're new to the channel, or simply you've been watching and you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. It is 100% free. Helps us out tremendously. All right, Matt, blah, blah, blah. Shut the crap up now. Without further ado, let's get into it. You know what? I'll say first things first. Let's talk about good old CJ Stroud, what he had to say about these test results. Look, I've already explained this 10,000 times. I'm not explaining it again. He took a test for the NFL that is based on pre-draft stuff, your thought process, etc. And he scored in the 18th percentile. Meanwhile, Bryce Young, he scored a 98 out of 99. So do what you want with that information. Reports and rumors were coming out that NFL teams, they were petrified about this. They were scared. They're like, oh no, maybe this guy isn't smart. What are we going to do? Are we not going to draft him? Are we going to draft him? And well, CJ Stroud, he responded. Somebody asked him about it, and he came out and straight up said, I'm not a test taker, I play football. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the worst responses you could have said. I would like to imagine he has a PR team. I don't know, maybe he doesn't after saying that. But saying that right there alone isn't smart. And just like this comment right here says, it proves my point. I think he's accidentally feeding into the narrative with this one. Exactly, he is, and I don't even think he understands that. What he said, though, do I agree with it? Yes, 100%. He's not a nerd. He's not there to analyze this, that. He's there to play football. But however, at the same time, I just feel like this is something you keep to yourself. You don't say this. You say, yeah, I didn't do good on the test. I got to do better, and keep it moving. I still don't want to overhype this situation. If I had him high on my draft board just because they didn't do so well on that test, it doesn't mean I would steer clear from him. I still more than likely would take him. The last thing I'm going to say about this right here, this quote, it's not smart. Do what you want with that information. Let's get a move on. Moving along here to our second topic, we're not going to talk about this too much longer either. However, we are going to keep it involved with the NFL draft. Check this out. It's being reported that multiple NFL scouts and coaches believe Caleb Williams is quote-unquote miles ahead of any quarterback in this year's NFL draft, including Bryce Young. Many scouts believe Williams is the closest a prospect has been to Patrick Mahomes since Mahomes. And they also stated that he would easily be this year's first overall pick. Man, what do y'all think about that? I mean, it's definitely a interesting debate, but I also agree with a lot of that. I don't think it's outlandish to say that he would easily be the number one pick, because he would. Me personally, as much as I love Bryce Young, I think he's outstanding, I'd take Caleb Williams over Bryce Young right now. As far as it goes for the Patrick Mahomes comparison, yeah, pretty ideal, pretty exact. Heck, they even got the same hairstyle. They got the same, what's the word I'm looking for? Mechanics. That was the first comparison I used, and I don't want to use it a lot because it's cliche and corny, but Caleb Williams, when he was at Oklahoma, he looked like a young Patrick Mahomes. Caleb Williams is the real deal, and the only backlash I saw in the comment section is people saying, well, no. This is wrong because Mahomes wasn't even labeled as a good prospect. So right now, as to where it stands, Caleb Williams is actually miles ahead of Mahomes. Remember, we're talking about Mahomes as a prospect, and yeah, if you compare Mahomes as a prospect and Caleb Williams, not even close. I'd go this far. Right now, Caleb Williams, he sat out next season or got hurt. I still believe he'd be the number one overall pick, and it wouldn't be close. I love me some Caleb Williams, I really do. The dude's phenomenal, but we're not here to talk about his draft status because that's a conversation for next year. But now finally, moving along here to the main topic of the main encore, the main reason you clicked onto this video, we gotta talk about, yet again, what's going down in T-Town. Okay, let's make a long story short, cut the chase. We already talked about Jalen Milroe, Ty Simpson. I'll show you the numbers yet again. They didn't do good in the spring game. They were mediocre at best. I thought Jalen Milroe, he was actually a little bit below mediocre. He wasn't bad, he wasn't terrible, but he wasn't even average. He just wasn't that good. And the same exact thing can be said for Ty Simpson. Here's the problem with the Alabama quarterback battle. When you're having to look at this from a standpoint of, okay, who did less worse, that's a problem. You would much rather both of these guys go 25 for 32 or 17 for 23 and go, okay, they played good, but who was better? But that's not the case. Right now we're looking at it and going, okay, who gives us a worser chance to lose a game? That was a terrible example. Let me give you a better perspective. Nick Saban and Alabama are looking at this from the perspective of, okay, you're down to your last pick in dodgeball in middle school, and you got to pick between the band nerd who never plays or the one girl that just hides behind everybody. You're not looking at the positives, and there's really no right choice, but you got to pick somebody. That's currently where we're at. And yesterday morning, news came out that Notre Dame's quarterback, he's entering the portal. Next thing you know, only a couple hours later, he's scheduled to visit Alabama. And I made this clear in the video, but I guess people just didn't listen or they didn't want to listen, so I'm going to say it again. Do I think this guy right here, Tyler Buchner, is better than Jalen Milroe or Ty Simpson? No! What I said yesterday is, and I want to emphasize this, is it doesn't hurt us bringing him along. If Nick Saban and Alabama staff see something in him, I trust him. Bring him along. The worst thing that can happen is he just sits the bench. The point I'm trying to get across is there's no negative to adding Tyler Buchner to the team. There's not a negative. Because if he's trash, if he's not good, etc., okay, he doesn't got to play. It is what it is. But since Nick Saban and Alabama's offensive coordinator, Tommy Rees, they see something in this kid, I'm looking at it from this perspective. Hey, there's probably a 98% chance he's not that good. He doesn't start. But there may be a 2% chance he could be the next Mac Jones and we can catch lightning in a bottle. There could be a chance he comes in and he thrives in Alabama's system and he gets along with everybody and he's just the perfect fit. So I wanted to make that clear, but I also need to address these comments. Hurricane Patriot said, bro, you're killing me. The other day you were saying that Tyler Van Dyke wasn't good enough to be a quarterback at Alabama, and this is a guy that is proven at his position, but now a Notre Dame quarterback is good enough? The only reason they're even looking at him is because of Tyler Glenn said no. And under that, Cloak responded, he's always contradicting himself. It's what he does. Might as well get used to it, shaking my head. Hey, I respect those comments because I said those things. But keep in mind, what I said about Tyler Van Dyke, Miami's starting quarterback, possibly joining Alabama, that was before I found out that we currently have 2 Uber Eats drivers battling it out to see who's going to start next year. Because let's just call it what it is. Jalen Milroe and Ty Simpson was playing like Uber Eats drivers. At least that's how they played in the spring game. So I guess I should have made that clear in yesterday's video. If Tyler Van Dyke wanted to come to Alabama, I'd be head over the heels. Let's bring him along too. I would love that. The only reason I said I wasn't a big time fan of Tyler Van Dyke coming to Alabama and I didn't think he could start is because I didn't think Jalen Milroe and Ty Simpson were going to play that bad. I didn't know they were going to look this bad, and I didn't know they were looking this bad in practice. Because all my sources in T-Town was telling me, Matt, you're going to be shocked when you see Ty Simpson and Jalen Milroe. Both of them are outstanding. It doesn't matter who starts. We're going to be A-okay. All of my sources were straight up telling me, man, Matt, Jalen Milroe, he's 2,000 times better. Literally word for word, that's what they were telling me. So all I've been hearing in the offseason is that Ty Simpson, he's looked good. Jalen Milroe, he's improved. He's ready to lead the team. And then I see what I see on Saturday. So yes, my opinions can change over time. I respect your opinion saying I contradict myself, but I would have to disagree. Just because over time my opinions change based off of what I see, I don't think that's contradicting myself. I'll give you an example. Last year heading into the season, I even had Georgia fans tell me, man, Matt, this sucks. Stetson DoorDash Bennett, he's coming back. I wish he would have left. Fast forward in time to after the national championship game, all Georgia fans are saying, man, I'm glad Bennett came back. He improved a ton. So since their opinions changed on Stetson Bennett, does that mean they're contradicting themselves too? You see what I'm saying? You can change your opinions based off of what you see. Same thing for me. I told you guys in the offseason last year, I think Alabama's going to win the championship. I think we're the best team in the country and it's not close. Well, after about week 5 or 6, I completely changed my opinion. I said, nope, Alabama, we just ain't what we used to be. I could name off 10,000 more examples. I think you get my point. Now, getting back on track here with this Alabama quarterback dilemma, same thing happened on Saturday. Heading into Saturday, no, I wouldn't have cared if Tyler Van Dyke joined the team. We don't need him. But after seeing what I saw on Saturday, yeah, we might need a Tyler Van Dyke. We might need a transfer quarterback. And I'll tell you this much, I don't think Tyler Van Dyke is just good enough to be on the Alabama roster. I think he might be the best option if he were to go to Alabama. Is he going to leave Miami and go to Alabama? No. From everything I've heard, he's staying put. The newest updates we have for Alabama and going after a new quarterback is Tyler Buchner. He was on campus today. You got to give it to Saban and Alabama. They acted quick on this, which also leaves me with more concern because if they were this quick to get him on campus, does that mean they really want a new quarterback that bad? I think they do. All people told me was, Matt, you're freaking out. You shouldn't have overreacted in that spring game. Well, Nick Saban's overreacting. I think he is. If Nick Saban's concerned, which he has expressed it, then I am concerned because he rarely does that. I don't know what's going to happen in Alabama, but we ain't in a good position. This is the worst I've felt about my team in 15 years. And to my Bama fans, I'm not saying the sky is falling. I'm just saying I'm concerned. 99.9% of college football fans are always concerned about their team. We've just been extremely fortunate in Alabama where we don't need to be concerned. We know what to expect. But right now, where the program's at, we do got some uncertainty. We'll see what happens. We'll see. Let me know your thoughts down below. But